of water floating in space does not hang suspended or stretch thin. It curls inward, drawing itself into a perfect sphere. It becomes round not by force, but by nature's simplest law. This silent transformation holds a profound cosmic truth. From the smallest atom to the largest star, all things tend toward this form. They are driven not by beauty or intent, but by the universe's most efficient principle. Forces always seek the path of least resistance, the state of lowest energy, the simplest balance. This is the foundation of cosmic peace. When nature rests, it finds its home in roundness. We see this from bubbles in air to the surfaces of distant planets. The circle is nature's universal seal of peace. It is the visible signature of opposing forces finally reaching accord. The universe composes its deepest poetry in circles. It writes in perfect inward curves, not in outward, straining lines. The circle is the language of ultimate stability. It keeps things whole within a turbulent and dynamic cosmos. If we could freeze the universe for a single instant, we would see it breathes in curves. Rivers never run straight, they meander. Planets do not hover, they orbit. Galaxies do not stand still, they spin in great, graceful arms. Nothing truly moves in a straight line, and nothing is ever completely at rest. Behind every cosmic arc lies a universal law from which nothing can escape. Every curve is a truce, a compromise between energy and force. It is a silent covenant woven into the very fabric of space-time. Even the ripples in a pond obey this deep consensus. Water does not flow by will or desire. It simply follows the path that demands the least energy. It prefers to bend rather than to break. It chooses to circle rather than to rush headlong. Nature holds a deep aversion to sharpness. An edge signifies a sudden, abrupt change. An abrupt change always harbors tension, a point of weakness. When things curve, they finally relax. Energy can then flow smoothly. Stress naturally dissipates. The universe, in its grand design, conserves energy. This relentless pursuit of efficiency commands everything, from a soap bubble to a star, to surrender to the curve. The cosmos is an artist that never lays down its brush. Every stroke, every rotation, follows an unseen command. Remain smooth. Maintain balance. Stay round. When a raindrop forms, water molecules pull on one another. They create an invisible contracting film. This film squeezes the droplet into the smallest possible shape, a sphere. This is surface tension, a manifestation of nature's core plea. Waste less, achieve balance. On Earth, gravity pulls the drop into a teardrop shape before it falls. But in the freedom of space released from gravity's grip, water becomes a pure liquid orb. This form is not about aesthetics. It emerges from balanced pressures and an eternal pursuit of simplicity. Surface tension exists wherever molecules meet a vacuum. It smooths rough edges and erases tiny flaws. It gives form to the smallest of worlds. The very same force that rounds a dewdrop also sculpts bubbles in your coffee. It shapes newborn stars in the distant depths of space. A floating water orb carries a quiet, profound calm. It represents a cosmic moment of rest, poised perfectly between motion and stillness. It rests upon an ancient universal truth. Where energy finds harmony, all things become round. Inside every sphere, a hidden, powerful geometry is at work. It is the shape that contains the greatest volume within the least surface. It is the most efficient structure in the entire universe. No other form distributes pressure and energy so perfectly, so evenly. On a sphere, every single point is equally distant from the center. Every molecule feels the same inward pull. This is a perfect democracy of force. This balance is no mere accident. It is a destiny written directly into the fundamental equations of our universe. From atoms to stars, matter rearranges itself. It follows geometry's simplest, most powerful rule. Minimize cost, maximize harmony. When nature has no need for complexity, it invariably chooses the sphere. To unravel this balance is to find perfect symmetry in mathematics. This mathematical truth allows bubbles to float and stars to burn steadily. It enables planets to hold their vast oceans. Every curve is a declaration of order, a direct reply to chaos. Geometry is the quiet conscience of the cosmos. It reminds us that within vast disorder, some things remain inherently fair, and this fairness, this fundamental balance, always returns to roundness. A drop of water, a bubble, a planet, three worlds, all governed by one law. They are each born in chaos, but patiently shaped by balance. In a bubble, internal gas pushes outward. Surface tension pulls inward. They struggle until a perfect, fragile truce is reached. In a planet, gravity pulls everything toward the center. Rotation tries to fling matter away. The result of this cosmic tug-of-war is still a sphere. This seal of peace is a compromise between opposing powers. This beautiful pattern repeats across all scales, from millimeters to millions of kilometers. The same physics sketches the same silhouette across the void. The only difference is the force that does the holding. Surface tension for the bubble, gravity for the planet. In the silence of space, this balance becomes pure poetry. A planet is essentially a bubble of rock and gas. It is inflated by time and sealed by gravity's embrace. It floats forever in the cosmic sea. Every planet carries the deep, silent memory of a water drop. It is simple, smooth, and eternal. Perhaps the universe itself learned to shape planets from small things like raindrops. For both are answers to the same profound question. How does energy finally rest? Every curve and contour we see in the cosmos is the shape energy takes when it finds balance. In physics, form is never random. It is the visible footprint left when invisible forces finally reach harmony. A gas cloud collapses into a star because gravity wins. A water drop rounds because surface tension minimizes stress. A planet forms after countless impacts, pressures, and temperatures finally reach a consensus. Energy does not just move things, it shapes them. Every wave, every pulse, every collision carves a path toward stability. The destination of that journey is almost always round. Only the sphere allows energy to rest without the friction of sharp edges. The universe is a master artist, working in tension and balance. Every atom, every galaxy is a brush stroke in its endless pursuit of equilibrium. The forms we see are merely frozen moments in a perpetual dance of forces. Energy whispers to matter, stop struggling, return to round, return to calm. And when matter finally listens, chaos itself begins to soften. The universe reveals, if only for a moment, its profoundly peaceful nature. A perfect equation describes the geometry of a sphere. The formula for its volume is V equals 4/3 R. The formula for its surface area is A equals 4 pi R squared. Together, they capture the universe's most favored compromise. They use the smallest possible boundary to enclose the largest possible space. No other shape can hold so much within so little. Mathematically, the sphere is an endpoint. It is the answer nature always finds when all directions are equal and no axis is special. From a water drop to a star, all things that cease to resist their own energy will eventually solve the same equation. This mathematical principle is universal. It cares not for scale, for the type of matter, or for the passage of time. Carbon atoms and neutron stars both follow this same relentless logic. Even black holes are bound by the perfect, inescapable geometry of a circle. An abstract formula becomes the very handwriting of creation. Every time we see a sphere, we are witnessing mathematics made real. Efficiency is the universe's hidden obsession. Every particle, every cloud of dust, every orbit strives to do more with less. It seeks less energy expended, less movement, less chaos. And no other shape satisfies this deep, cosmic need better than the sphere. It stores mass and radiates heat with perfect uniformity. It resists imbalance from every direction equally. The circle is the universe's ultimate scheme for conservation. To witness a planet being born from dust is to see this efficiency in action. Gravity pulls inward, pressure pushes outward. They negotiate until the resulting form is utterly effortless. Every mountain, every irregularity is slowly, patiently smoothed away by time. It is ground down, balanced, perfected. Even light radiating from its source spreads outward as a sphere. This is the most efficient way to fill space uniformly. The universe itself expanded from its initial fiery state following this very law. Energy was distributed evenly in all directions, without a hint of favoritism. The circle feels so natural to us for a reason. It is more than just symmetry. It is a visible emblem of efficiency. It reminds us that in a universe of fleeting transactions, the sphere is the only truly fair deal. Imagine a single water bead drifting in the orbital darkness. It is free from gravity, wind, and any container. There is only profound silence. It shivers for a moment, then gathers itself. It forms a floating pearl of liquid. Inside it, every molecule feels the same tension, the same inward pull. Without gravity, surface tension becomes its entire universe. This force sculpts it into a perfect sphere, suspended in nothingness. To human eyes, it appears fragile, almost alive. But in truth, it is in the purest state of balance. Every force is perfectly matched. Every imbalance has been erased. The water drop has found the one shape that requires no correction. Astronauts aboard space stations have watched these orbs float. They see them merge, divide, and glow in soft light. They are tiny echoes of planets, following the same physical laws on a miniature stage. Each water orb is a rehearsal for creation. It is an apprentice to gravity, learning how to become a world. This single drop is the universe's most concise version of itself. A lonely, perfect circle, seemingly. Yet it holds within it the endless tension between motion and peace. In the beginning, there was no order. There was only turbulence. Clouds of gas twisted and collided in the void. They were filled with heat and motion, utterly without pattern. But as time passed, the chaos began to recede. Gravity started to gather the scattered dust, pulling it toward a center. Storms began to calm. From the fury, the formless began to take shape. Gas collapsed into spheres, not by choice, but by necessity. It was the only shape that chaos could tolerate for survival. In the tug-of-war between disorder and balance, roundness won through sheer resilience. It does not waste, it does not leak, it does not break. Every world, every star is born from this same settling. It begins with an explosion, and it ends always in a sphere. The universe folds its own violence into symmetry. It transforms pure destruction into elegant design. When you gaze upon a planet, silent in the darkness, you are not seeing perfection. You are seeing peace, carved patiently from chaos. Even the most violent of storms will, in time, learn to curve. Every planet begins as rubble. It is a loose collection of rock, ice, and metal spinning around a newborn star. At first, it has no shape, only motion. But slowly gravity begins its work. Fragments merge, heat increases. A sphere gradually emerges. Gravity has no design in mind. It only understands pull. Yet, through this simple, relentless attraction, it sculpts the most elegant of forms. A young planet melts in the energy of its own birth. It becomes a ball of liquid rock. In this molten state, gravity's hand grows steady. It smooths the edges and rounds the mountains. It presses chaos into order. When the crust finally cools, the planet retains this ancient memory. It holds a form born from pure necessity. The same rule that made the water drop round also built an entire world. Gravity is the universe's sculptor. It is blind, patient, and absolute. It works not with a vision, but with persistence. It never carves with intent, yet it shapes all things with patience. And what it leaves behind is always, always the same. A perfect circle. Beneath the surface of every planet, a silent struggle endures. It is the endless contest between gravity and the solid ground. Gravity pulls inward, demanding a perfect sphere. The planet's crust, in turn, resists stubbornly. For small bodies like asteroids, the rock wins easily. Their weak gravity cannot make solid stone bend. But as mass increases, gravity's grip strengthens. Even solid matter under immense pressure over geologic time begins to flow like a liquid. This is not about melting, it is about yielding. A planet's very body flows over epochs. Mountains sink, valleys rise, and the surface slowly, inevitably, trends toward balance. Gravity always wins in the end. This is why only large worlds can become nearly perfect spheres. Their gravity is strong enough to make rock as pliable as clay. What seems hard and permanent to our eyes is, on the cosmic timescale, as soft as a breath. When you see an image of Earth from space, that smooth blue marble, remember the tension beneath those calm curves. Remember the struggle and the yielding, frozen in a moment of motion. Roundness is not peace. It is a victory won over billions of years. 4.5 billion years ago, Earth was not yet a planet. It was a molten mass of rock, metal, and vapor orbiting a young sun. Asteroids constantly bombarded it, keeping it hot. Iron flowed like water. In this chaos, gravity found its opportunity. each drop of molten matter pulled on the others, gathering toward the center. A rough sphere slowly formed. There was no surface, no ocean, no air then. Only glowing magma, swirling storms, and lightning tearing across a deep red sky. But beneath the fury, a prelude to order was being written. The first perfect curve of our world was being drawn. When Earth finally cooled enough for a crust to solidify, it retained the memory of that molten roundness. Every mountain since has been a small act of rebellion. Every ocean trench is a testament to gravity's patience. Earth's roundness is not just a shape. It is a scar, the imprint left by its fiery collapse. The place we call home was once a glowing ball of chaos, a sphere that slowly learned the art of refinement. Roundness is not a coincidence, it is a cosmic milestone. When a forming celestial body reaches a certain size, gravity takes complete control. Scientists call this state hydrostatic equilibrium. It is where internal pressure and gravitational pull achieve perfect balance, forcing the material into a sphere. Before this point, asteroids remain jagged, broken, and irregular. But once enough mass gathers, the rules change. Rock flows, the crust bends, the planet grows smooth. This transition is not instant. Gravity needs millions of years of impacts, heat, and motion to erase the chaos. But once achieved, roundness becomes permanent. The planet has found its balance. Within our solar system, this threshold acts as a dividing line between celestial bodies. The largest bodies in the asteroid belt are just round enough to be classified as dwarf planets. Smaller bodies fail this test, their shapes still bearing the scars of collisions. The moment chaos transforms into geometry is the birth of belonging. When a body ceases to be a fragment and becomes a whole, the cosmos welcomes it with a perfect curve. If you could pick up an asteroid drifting in the void, you would find gravity almost ignores it. Its pull is too weak to bend solid rock. The rock can spin, tumble, and collide, but its sharp angles remain. On such a small world, solid matter wins easily because internal pressure is too low to overcome its own strength. This is why most asteroids look like fragments, not planets. They are the leftover pieces of creation, frozen in a moment before the law of gravity took full effect. It is only when sufficient mass gathers that the strength of matter is overruled. Rock over billions of years will flow like soft wax. This truth is humbling. A mountain on Earth, if scaled up to planetary size, would collapse under its own weight. Yet in space, a mountain-sized rock can remain unchanged for billions of years. Scale dictates everything: strength, shape, and destiny. These small bodies are like unfinished thoughts, fragments never heavy enough to remember how to be round. Every world must cross a silent boundary to earn its shape. It is the point where gravity becomes stronger than the material it contains. Scientists call this the yield point, the moment rock stops resisting and starts to flow. Below this limit, matter stays rough and angled. But once a body is large enough, its own weight crushes peaks, fills valleys, and sculpts smooth roundness. For silicate rock, this critical diameter is about 600 kilometers. For ice, it is smaller, around 400 kilometers. Beyond these values, nature overrules rigidity and lets balance take the lead. This boundary divides the cosmos into the broken and the whole. Above it, gravity paints in circles. Below it, fragments remain forever unfinished. Every world in our universe carries the story of how close it came to this boundary. When you see a pockmarked asteroid tumbling in the dark, you are not just looking at a rock. You are looking at a world that almost succeeded, a place that nearly remembered how to be round. Beyond the planets, our solar system is filled with these semi-finished worlds. There are moons too small, dwarf planets too cold, and asteroids too fractured to yield. Some bodies are nearly round, but never quite cross the threshold. Their gravity has smoothed their surfaces, but not fully tamed their cores. Their own strength resists complete surrender. They are the universe's nearly rounds frozen in compromise. Others just meet the standard. Their icy bodies, softer than rock, allow gravity to shape them into near-perfect spheres. Every moon tells the story of its own material and mass. It speaks of how much it could bend before it broke. These forms constitute a gallery of states between chaos and perfection. The potato-shaped moons, the ellipsoid dwarf planets, the fractured crusts of icy worlds, all are snapshots of evolution, halted mid-stride. To see them is not to see failure, but memory. They remind us that roundness is earned, not given. Every irregular world displays how close the universe came to balance. Even imperfection follows the rules. Not every world achieves perfect symmetry, and therein lies its unique beauty. Every crater, every ridge, every scar narrates a struggle that never truly ends. The moon, with its cratered plains and rugged mountains, is not a perfect sphere. Yet from a distance, it emanates a sense of peaceful balance. This beauty comes not from flawlessness, but from resilience. Nature rarely creates perfect forms. It creates survivors. Perfection is a direction, not a destination. Gravity constantly tries to smooth the edges, while impacts and movement carve new marks. The result is a living geometry that breathes, changes, and remembers. Even Earth lives with this tension. Its equator is slightly bulged, its crust shifts, its oceans slosh. Yet we still call it round, because roundness is not an absolute. It is a feeling of balance, a rhythm found by forces. We are fascinated by imperfect worlds because they remind us that harmony is not stillness. Beauty in the cosmos is never static. It is always in the process of becoming. From space, every planet looks flawless, smooth, glowing, a perfect celestial pearl. But this is an illusion of scale. A form that seems perfect from 1,000,000 kilometers away is rough and uneven up close. Earth's crust varies by about 20 kilometers from its highest peak to its deepest trench. But relative to the planet's size, this is merely a wrinkle less than 0.1% of its diameter. Roundness is a matter of perspective. When you zoom out far enough, chaos simply disappears, leaving only balance. The same is true for stars. Their surfaces boil and churn with plasma. Mountains of matter rise and fall. But across light years they appear as perfect spheres. Distance smooths everything. The farther we look, the more ideal the universe appears. When we gaze at Earth from orbit, we must remember this. Our mountains, storms, and scars all melt away into a single, calm curve. The universe is not perfect. It only appears so when you are far enough away to forgive its imperfections. From the moment we are born, we are surrounded by circles. The sun, the moon, the pupils in the eyes that reflect our own image. Deep in our biological instinct, roundness means safety. It symbolizes wholeness and continuity. It has no sharp edges, no threats. In ancient art, the circle became a symbol of eternity. The eye can never find its beginning or end. Perhaps this is because we ourselves live on a spherical world. The horizon curves gently around us, the sky domes overhead. The planet cradles us within its perfect arc. Our brains seem to recognize this symmetry instinctively. We trust circles. We are drawn to spheres. From architecture to atoms, they give us a sense of inevitability. It is as if the mind intuitively knows the laws that shape the cosmos. When we see Earth suspended in the blackness, we feel a sense of kinship. It feels as if the universe designed a form our eyes were meant to love. A sphere is not just geometry, it is home. Roundness is not confined to planets and stars. It is hidden in the smallest of things. Inside every atom, electrons do not travel on sharp orbits. They form probability clouds that swell around the nucleus in spherical shapes. This symmetry keeps matter stable. It distributes energy evenly in all directions. The same principle that shapes a galaxy also governs the space between protons. From an atom to an apple, the geometric rule never changes. Only the scale does. If you could shrink down to that invisible world, you would find that the role gravity plays in our macro world is done at the quantum level by other forces. They too pull everything toward balance, wrapping energy in invisible roundness. To hold an apple is to hold billions upon billions of spherical atoms. It is a larger sphere made of smaller ones, a fractal repetition of the same shape across scales. Even the dewdrop clinging to the apple's surface obeys the same physics as a planet forming in orbit. The universe seems to love consistency. Every level of matter echoes the one above it. It is as if the cosmos is constantly whispering the same word, round. When movement stops, form begins to speak. Every object in the universe, once the internal forces achieve balance, quietly settles into a geometric shape, and that shape is almost always round. A planet finds its rest when gravity and pressure reach consensus. A water drop becomes still when tension and cohesion match. Even a star, burning at its core, maintains its curved form because energy and collapse are perfectly balanced. In physics, rest means symmetry. This is why the sphere is not merely a shape. It is the final answer to every physical argument. When all struggle is resolved, when every push meets a countervailing pull, the answer the universe writes is roundness. Perfect stillness is incredibly rare in the cosmos. Everything is moving, spinning, colliding. But within this chaos, balance emerges like a heartbeat of order. Every curve we see is a brief pause in the motion. It is a glimpse of balance before change begins again. Geometry is the universe's way of remembering calm. A sphere is not a motionless thing. It is motion that has learned to end with grace. Balance is the silent architect behind every cosmic curve. It is not a force itself, but a truth. A point where all influencing factors agree to stop fighting. Within this balance, nature reveals its preferred design, the sphere. Inside a star, the pressure from nuclear fusion pushes outward. Gravity pulls inward. The two forces are perfectly equal. Between these two infinities lies perfect stillness. Not an absence of motion, but a harmony of forces carved into a circle. Every form in the universe is a negotiation between energy and structure. Only the sphere allows that conversation to end without compromise. Even tiny systems, a soap bubble, a water droplet, a single cell, assume the same geometry. Wherever matter encounters resistance, balance finds the most efficient path to rest. The sphere prevails because it wastes no energy. When we think of balance, we might imagine two hands pressing against each other with equal force, motionless yet full of living tension. This invisible push and pull defines everything. The balance we observe is so perfect that it becomes form. If you step back and observe, you will see that nature never builds with straight lines. From seashells to sand dunes, from wave patterns to clouds to the arcs of rivers, everything curves. The curve is the language of flow. It is the embodiment of a force finding the path of least resistance. Sharp angles consume energy. Curves allow movement to breathe. Even trees grow along invisible arcs. They distribute weight and tension evenly. Every branch is a gentle echo of gravity's guidance. Nature prefers what is practical over what is perfect. And in a world of motion, the curve is the most practical thing. This rule holds true for both the living and the non-living. Cells are round to share nutrients efficiently, but they are round, too, to withstand pressure and aid fusion. They are round because no simpler shape can survive. In this repetition, there is elegance, a logic written into the form of everything we know. When you see the spiral of a galaxy and the curl of a fern, you feel they are speaking the same dialect. The universe has only one notebook, and it always signs its name with a curve. Life did not invent roundness, it inherited it. Long before the first cell formed, the universe had already decided that round means stable. When cell membranes close upon themselves, they follow the same law as the water drop and the planet. They minimize surface area to protect their core. Every living cell on Earth is a tiny echo of this rule. A liquid world enclosed by a spherical wall. The geometry of life is the geometry of energy finding safety. Even at the molecular level, proteins fold into helices and rings, not sharp angles. Life thrives in flowing forms. We see this everywhere, in eyes, in seeds, in eggs. Even the pattern of a heartbeat repeats the universe's ancient rhythm. Contract, expand, balance. Physics not only shaped matter, it shaped the very rules that make life possible. Life is not an accident, it is a continuation. Every breath, every cell, every heartbeat is nature remembering how to be round. Deep within the structure of life, we find nature writing in circles. DNA coils into a helix, then folds into loops. It stores the story of every living thing. Even the simplest biological messengers, viruses, build themselves as spheres. Each one is a tiny, symmetrical fortress. Roundness in life is not decorative. It is the embodiment of efficiency. It is a perfect way to protect information and pass it into the world. When the laws of physics meet the chemistry of life, they do not fight. They reach a consensus, and the result is the geometry of existence. Shells and spirals repeat in every species. Pollen floating in air, seeds drifting in the sea, even bubbles in the bloodstream, all carry the same ancient code. They spread evenly, move smoothly, and survive. Because the sphere makes survival simple. Evolution may have had no other choice. Once life emerged, it simply followed a script the universe had already written, a script that always begins with a curve. Every circle we draw is a fragment of something greater. Slice a sphere, and you find its essence, a perfect curve. In 2 dimensions, it is endless and complete. From the halo around the moon to the ripple on a pond, the circle is a visible cross-section of 3-dimensional harmony. It is the universe letting us glimpse its geometry in a single flat plane. We live among these perfect slices. The arc of a satellite's track, the shadow during an eclipse, the circular cross-section of a tree. Each one reminds us that roundness is not flat. It is depth seen from a single angle. In mathematics, the circle and the sphere share the same soul. No matter how you rotate them, their symmetry remains unbroken. One is movement frozen in a plane. The other is movement expanded through space. When we see the full moon rise, shining like a silver coin in the dark, we feel we are not seeing a circle. We are seeing a glimpse of the infinite, a brief contemplation of the universe's most beloved form. A line bends and closes, becoming a circle. A circle curves through space, becoming a sphere. This simple act of folding one dimension into the next is how the universe builds complexity from simplicity. Every curve, given enough space to grow, will naturally expand into 3 dimensions. The result is not just a larger form, but a more complete one. The shift from the flat plane to the solid realm is nature's silent step toward perfection. You can watch this process in a bubble as it forms. It twists from a flat film into a shimmering, starry dome. A plain state is never lasting in the universe. Depth is its destiny. Even our perception follows this rule. We draw a circle on paper, but in our mind we see a sphere. The mind seems to know that roundness should not be confined to 2 dimensions. It yearns to occupy volume, to envelop, to contain. The universe's secret revenge, perhaps, is to turn every outline into a solid, to turn every motion into a world. A circle dreams of becoming a sphere, and in the end it always does. Forms themselves have no feeling, but we do. Round shapes touch something deep within us. When we see a circle, we feel calm. When we see a sphere, we feel whole. This is not logic, it is resonance. Our psyche interprets symmetry as safety, perhaps because in nature every round form a womb, a planet, the sun, has meant shelter. Our emotions, too, have a geometry, and they, too, tend toward the simplicity the universe prefers. We trust curves because they promise continuity. No beginning, no end, only movement folded into harmony. Artists understood this truth long before scientists could explain it. Temple domes and orbits all share the same silent logic. The circle draws the gaze inward, toward where stillness resides. In every culture, the circle marks the sacred. The mandala, the halo, the ring. Emotion itself may follow the same physical laws. When something feels right, we say it is rounded. Perhaps the balance in our hearts is a mirror of the balance in the stars. Every drop of water, every planet, every star is born from motion, but they are forbidden from keeping it. The sphere is not a symbol of stillness. It is proof that chaos can organize itself. Energy, given enough time to find balance, becomes form. This is why the universe, even in its violence, constantly carves peace into matter. Roundness is not a decoration. It is the fossil of energy that has learned to discipline itself. When energy stops fighting itself, it becomes geometry. And geometry, in turn, becomes beauty. From the smallest atom to the curve of the cosmos, the same equation plays out. Motion creates tension. Tension seeks release. Release becomes form. Every sphere in the sky is a silent record of this process. When you gaze upon a world suspended in darkness, you are not seeing a planet. You are seeing movement that has found meaning. A circle drawn by energy, finally coming to rest in perfect balance. Perfection is never still. It is carved by pressure. From a water drop to a star, the existence of every sphere stems from a fragile pact. A pact between inward and outward forces. Pressure is gravity's counterpart. It is the silent hand that resists collapse. Without it, worlds would crumble to a point. With too much of it, they would explode. Between these two extremes lies harmony, the critical point where energy curls into balance, and balance turns into roundness. It is a delicate tension, not peace but precision. Perfect physics written in invisible air. Inside a star, this pact becomes sacred. Nuclear fusion pushes out, gravity pulls in. Both make just enough compromise to coexist. The resulting perfect fireball surface is no accident. It is an inevitability. Pressure ensures that chaos can never win. When you watch the sun rise, think of this symmetry at work. Beneath the light is a balance so fierce that beauty is born from violence. This is how the universe creates perfection, not through calm, but through control. At the heart of every round object lies a simple equation, the law of cosmic efficiency. It states that nature always tends toward the configuration of lowest energy. Mathematicians call this the minimal surface problem. For a given volume, which shape requires the smallest boundary? Centuries of thought and countless experiments prove the answer is always the same: the sphere. It minimizes expenditure, tension, and surface area all at once. This is why the same geometry appears in soap bubbles, molten planets, and even the contours of subatomic fields. Nature does not choose beauty, it chooses efficiency. And beauty simply follows. When energy has room to move, it reorganizes to approach this minimum. Ripples subside, edges smooth, imbalances vanish. What remains is not a weakened chaos, but an organized one. The sphere is the physical expression of a mathematical truth. It achieves the most with the least. It is captivating that a universe so vast and wild follows a rule so simple. A rule that can be written on a classroom blackboard builds entire worlds. Nature avoids sharp angles like a plague. Every sharp boundary means a sudden change in energy, a place where pressure builds and balance breaks. This is why the universe smooths everything it touches. Mountains fall, water droplets merge, even light bends. On the long timeline of physics, sharp angles are temporary. The universe always finds a way to curve them. The sphere is the final form of this smoothing process. No edges, no tension, no wasted force. To live in such a universe is to live inside geometry's gentlest solution. Even the laws of motion prefer continuity. When particles move through space, they follow curved trajectories under gravity. They never turn abruptly. On the grandest scales, galaxies do the same. They flow and curl into spiral arms. They do not fracture into straight lines. It is as if the cosmos itself cannot tolerate sharpness. When you gaze at a smooth planet hanging in the dark, remember the effort it took to erase its edges. Billions of years of gravity's patient carving to make chaos seamless. In nature, a sharp angle is a shout of imbalance, a point where pressure gathers, heat concentrates, and energy is desperate to escape. Engineers have long known this. Metal is more likely to fracture where it bends too sharply. The universe, it seems, knows this rule by instinct. Nothing that lasts can keep a sharp edge for long. Water rounds stones, wind wears down cliffs. Time itself grinds every edge smooth until calm emerges. In the language of physics, an edge is a stress point, and stress always seeks release. That release writes a curve. Even on the cosmic scale, this holds true. Galaxies twist into spirals, not triangles. Nebulae drift into clouds, not cubes. Gravity does not allow edges because edges trap imbalance. An imbalance cannot last. The universe's roundness is its way of forgiving sharpness. It teaches everything that, given enough time, tension will soften into grace. Gravity shapes the macro world. Surface tension rules the micro realm. It is the invisible force on the surface of every liquid. Molecules pull inward, trying to minimize their exposed area. They contract themselves into the smallest possible form. It is this very tension that rounds the raindrop, that lets a soap bubble float, that makes a dewdrop cling to a leaf without falling. Surface tension is gravity's gentle echo on a tiny stage. Doing the same work, every water bead is a miniature planet, held together not by mass but by cohesion. A tiny world obeying the same geometric laws as a star. In the silence of microgravity, astronauts have watched water form perfect spheres. They quiver but do not break. No container, no weight. Just molecules yearning to be close, holding each other tight. It is the simplest proof that nature can create beauty without complexity. When you see a bubble floating in sunlight, shimmering, you feel it is a universe condensed into a moment. Fragile, fleeting, yet perfectly round for the duration of its existence. A soap film may seem fragile, but it hides profound mathematics. Stretched between two rings or shimmering on the surface of a bubble, the film naturally adjusts to the smallest possible area. Mathematicians call this a minimal surface. It follows equations that perfectly balance curvature and tension. Every shimmer on the film is a living diagram of energy seeking rest. It bends, folds, and stabilizes until its form becomes the solution, not drawn by a hand, but solved by nature. To blow a bubble is not just to play. It is to watch mathematics perform in the air. Researchers have even used soap films to simulate complex geometric shapes, from bridge designs to the very fabric of the cosmos. The film knows the answer without calculation. Molecule by molecule, it minimizes area, distributes tension evenly. It is like a perfectly tuned fabric. If the universe could speak, its language would be as fragile, as shimmering, and as perpetually seeking balance as a soap film. At the heart of every world, two eternal opponents meet: gravity and pressure. Gravity pulls inward. With every layer of mass, its grip tightens. Pressure pushes outward. It is the instinct of matter to resist collapse. Their struggle defines a planet's size, density, and even its fate. In the molten core of a young world, this conflict is a silent argument. Gravity demands compression, pressure demands space. The moment they reach balance, chaos ends. The sphere is born. What they find is not peace, but equality. One hand presses in, another presses out. The form between them is perfection. Every star, every gas giant, every molten planet is this balance made visible. Too little pressure and gravity wins, crushing everything. Too much pressure, and the body shatters outward into nothing. Between these extremes lies a narrow band of stability, the tiny margin where the universe permits form to exist. To think of this tension is to think of the sun itself, a violent storm bound by an invisible pact. Perfection is always forged in opposition. Every star you see in the night sky, from the faintest red dwarf to the brilliant blue giant, is just a ball of gas, held together by its own gravity. Starlight has no edges. Inside, hydrogen atoms collide with tremendous force. They ignite nuclear fusion, releasing enough energy to fight the crush, the push outward. The result is perfect balance. A glowing ball where pressure and pull are equal. This is why stars are round. They are explosions bound by their own weight. Each one burns in silence, like the water drop following the same geometric law. From our perspective, stars seem eternal, but they are fragile negotiations. Too much mass, and they tear themselves apart. Too little, and fusion never ignites. Only within this narrow range can a ball of plasma hold its form. A star is a lesson written in heat. Even destruction can find symmetry. Even in burning, roundness means peace. The pressure inside a star is never still. It dances. Billions of tons of gas surge outward every second. Gravity pulls them back to the core. This pulsation is invisible to the eye, but it is written in the light. The star trembles, contracts, expands. It breathes to a slow rhythm. A silent dance poised between resistance and surrender. It is this oscillation that lets the sphere endure. If it expanded too far, balance would break. If it contracted too much, the light would go out. The sphere persists only because these two motions never stop arguing. Some stars even sing of their own pressure. They vibrate across space. Astronomers can measure these vibrations. They reveal the heartbeat of the cosmos. Gravity and heat talking in rhythm. Every pulse reminds us that perfection is not stillness. It is motion maintained in balance. When you gaze at the sun, imagine the endless dance beneath its calm light. Pressure and gravity bow to each other, dancing the universe's oldest waltz. Every star rotates, some slowly, some with astonishing speed. Yet they almost never lose their perfect form. Even in spinning, roundness persists. The reason is the dominance of gravity. The force that holds a star together is so immense that spin can hardly distort it. The equator may bulge slightly, but the overall symmetry remains intact. To gravity, a star's rotation is but a ripple on an infinite surface. The gases inside may flow and churn, but they always return to balance. A turbulence unwilling to break. Perfection. Some young stars spin hundreds of times faster than our sun. Their equators are flung outward by centrifugal force. But even then, gravity holds them nearly round. It pulls every straying atom back into place. This is the same balance of motion and constraint, the same law that shapes planets, water drops, and galaxies. The universe is like a great sculptor working while in motion, spinning its creations, yet never letting them fly apart. Inside a star, pressure flows like a pulse. Layers of plasma expand and contract with tiny changes in heat. Waves travel through the entire body. Some waves reach the surface, making the star flicker slightly. Astronomers call this asteroseismology. By studying these tremors, they can map the star's hidden interior. Every vibration is a beat in a rhythm older than time, driven by the pull of gravity and the push of energy. A star does not breathe air, but it breathes balance. Every pulse keeps it in shape, alive and stable. By studying these vibrations, scientists can chart the star's hidden layers: density, temperature, even its age. The data is like a musical score. Every note marks a change in pressure and light. When you see a star flicker, you feel you are gazing at a heartbeat from across the interstellar void. Every twinkle of light in the sky is a rhythm of balance, echoing through space. If pressure creates perfection, then gravity is the creator. It is the sculptor of the cosmos. Unseeing, patient, absolute. Every world, every star, every galaxy owes its form to its relentless pull toward a center. Gravity carves not with a blade or heat, but with time. Over billions of years, it gathers dust, gas, and light. It pulls them into unity. The result is not chaos, but form. From the formless to the formed, balance is written by attraction itself. In the silence of space, gravity is the one artist that never sleeps. It shapes the raw energy of creation into order. You can see its fingerprint everywhere. The smooth curve of a planet, the glowing shell of a star, the gentle arc of a galaxy's spiral arm. Each one is gravity's sculpture, frozen in motion. Even the orbit of a moon is but a line drawn by its invisible hand. One often imagines gravity as a universe remembering itself. Every object yearning to return to the source. Every curve is a signature of belonging. Gravity has but one rule: pull evenly in all directions. From this symmetry, the sphere emerges. No face, no edge, no corner can feel a stronger pull than any other. Every particle feels the same inward call. This perfect uniformity can only resolve into a circle. This is why planets and stars are round. Even their invisible fields expand in spheres. The geometry of gravity is, itself, fairness. What is given in one direction is given in all. It is not just a law of attraction. It is a law of equality written into space. When you look up at a planet glowing softly in the dark, you are seeing gravity's democracy at work. No favoritism, no preferred direction. Only the universe's even-handed curve. Gravity is not a single pull, but a chorus. Every atom in the universe sings the same song of attraction. Together they create a field that is everywhere. Unlike magnetism, which has poles, gravity has no direction. No north or south, only inward. Every point in space feels it from all sides. This is why its geometry is spherical. It flows evenly through every angle. It bends fields, orbits, and worlds into curves. This uniformity makes gravity universal. It makes no choices. It merely gathers all the yearning of matter, and folds it toward a center. Einstein later showed that gravity is not even a force. It is the bending of space itself. Mass tells space how to curve. Space tells mass how to move. The result is that every object falls along an invisible arc toward the deepest point of curvature. Poetically, from the smallest photon to the largest cluster of galaxies, nothing is fighting the universe's curve. They are following it devoutly. If any of them could travel far enough in any direction, you would never find an edge. You would only encounter a curve that brought you back to your starting point. On the largest scales, the universe does not behave like a flat sheet. It behaves like a giant bubble of space-time. Galaxies trace arcs across invisible geometry. Light bends. Orbits twist in gravitational wells. Straight lines exist only in theory. In reality, everything follows a curve, drawn by gravity, motion, or expansion itself. The universe has no edges, no true straight lines, only endless bending, smooth and continuous, like a thought that never ends. Even the expansion is curved. Space does not stretch out into nothingness. It expands within itself. Every point moves away from every other. It is an imperfect symmetry. The farther you go, the more the journey resembles a circle. Perhaps the universe does not know how to move in a straight line. It only knows how to turn. For centuries, astronomers have wondered, if everything is curved, what is the universe curving into? The answer is stranger than imagined. It curves into itself. Space needs no outside. It curves inward, like the surface of a sphere. Every direction, followed far enough, leads back to the beginning. On a local scale, the universe may seem flat, but as a whole, it may be finite, yet boundless. A closed geometry of endless motion. You could travel forever and never cross an edge because there is no edge to cross. The universe is not infinitely far away. It is infinitely continuous. The cosmic microwave background gives us clues. Its faint ripples are perfectly aligned. They hint that the universe is slightly curved, yet exceptionally smooth. If you could see its whole structure, you might glimpse a giant thought bubble, expanding, cooling, evolving. Its core still round. It is a comforting thought. The universe does not stretch into nothingness. It folds into meaning. A single, continuous curve carrying all we know. If you could step outside the universe and look back, what would it look like? Not a grid of stars or a field of points, but a giant, glowing bubble of space-time, expanding in all directions at once. No center, no up or down, only light stretching across infinite curvature. From the outside, it might seem eternal, a single, timeless moment containing all past and future. Inside, we call it history. Beyond it, there is only geometry. Perhaps the universe does not unfold in time. Perhaps time is seen all at once. The laws of physics suggest this perspective is theoretically possible, even if we can never witness it. The entire universe, every photon, every atom, every thought, frozen in one giant sphere of thought. It would no longer expand, for all motion would be contained within it. The Big Bang, the now, the distant future, all coexisting as one. To imagine this view is to realize we are inside a masterpiece, a perfectly round universe. Even in the dimension of time, we cannot see the universe's whole shape. We can only infer it from its effects. Light arrives curved. Galaxies recede as space stretches. The world seems flat and endless to us daily. We are like someone standing on Earth's surface, mistaking its curve for infinite flatness. Too small in scale to perceive its curvature. The cosmic microwave background holds faint clues of curvature, but it has not revealed the full form. We are always inside the structure, chasing traces of its geometry. The cosmic horizon is the farthest light has been able to travel since the Big Bang. It is not a boundary, but a limit of knowledge. As the universe expands, light from some regions will never reach us. Our visible universe is just a glowing bubble surrounded by darkness. Our knowing stops where light cannot reach time enough. This horizon is a mirror. It reflects how knowledge ever expands, yet ever chases light. The stretching of space itself makes the universe grow larger. Distant galaxies retreat at stunning speeds. Their light, after billions of years of travel, arrives red-shifted and faint. To observe deep space is to look back in time. Every photon is an ancient messenger, and new galaxies constantly cross over the horizon, whose light will never meet ours. The horizon is like an inflating sphere. Its surface carries time and light. It makes the universe a single, still unfolding wave of light. Relativity tells us the universe has no single center. Every observer sits at the center of their own visible bubble, 13.8 billion light years in radius. This center is not a privilege of location, but a perspective drawn by light's finite speed and travel time. No matter where you are, you see a symmetrical, spherical universe. Every point in space owns its own map of the horizon. Symmetry is woven through the existence of the cosmos. Matter and antimatter, gravity and dark energy, light and darkness define each other. Tiny asymmetries gave us stars, planets, and life. Darkness is not empty. Dark matter weaves invisible filaments into a cosmic web. It provides the structure upon which luminous galaxies are built. The nodes it forms are round. It is the trace of gravity shaping the unseen. The large-scale structure of the universe is called the cosmic web. Galaxies string along vast arcs. Nodes cluster into superclusters. Voids hold emptiness for millions of galaxies. This pattern springs from energy's tendency toward curves. It is the physics of soap bubbles, playing out on the universal scale. Roundness becomes a universal rule across dimensions. Gravity is the sculptor of the cosmos. With time as its chisel, it shapes galaxies, clusters, and the curves of the cosmic web. The circle is gravity's signature. From planetary orbits to galactic spirals, all are the result of motion and force finding balance. There is no absolute stillness in the universe. Motion exists before form. Gas clouds spin, collapse, and form disks and stars. All visible structures are the footprints of solidified motion. The rhythm of the cosmos is hidden in every rotation, orbit, and pulse. The moon orbits Earth. Earth circles the sun. The sun drifts within the Milky Way. Even the universe's expansion follows the rhythm of space-time's energy wave. These rhythms compose the symphony of the universe. Starquakes, black hole collisions generating gravitational waves, all are notes beyond our hearing. Motion itself is the music of the cosmos. Dynamic balance is the core of the universe's persistence. gravity versus nuclear fusion in stellar cores, the pull of matter versus the push of dark energy on cosmic scales. The coexistence of opposites keeps systems stable and vibrant. Energy never vanishes. It only cycles between matter and light, following the symmetric law of EMC. The universe becomes a closed circuit of transformation. Nothing is wasted, only eternal, curved motion. The birth of the first stars ended the universe's dark ages. Their light-ionized gases, forming spherical bubbles that merged and completed the epoch of reionization. This light did not just illuminate the cosmos. It shaped its structure. Radiation fronts carved nebulae, drove stellar winds, and became architects of the cosmos. Shadows, in turn, sheltered the birth of new stars. The balance of light and darkness nurtures ongoing creation. Einstein revealed that gravity is the curvature of space-time itself, not a pull between objects. The universe curves into itself. There are no true straight lines. Everything follows curvature. Motion may be of finite, yet unbounded, closed geometry. A long enough journey would eventually return to its starting point. Space expands within itself. It grows larger every second. The precise fine-tuning of physical constants underpins the universe's order. The speed of light, the strength of gravity, the charge of an electron, tiny deviations in these values would leave us without stars, atoms, or life. These constants are the musical score of the cosmos. Mathematics is its language. From field equations to wave functions, the universe expresses itself through geometry and number. Every form is a visible interpretation of physical law. Chaos and order are not opposites. The disorder of the universe is but the surface appearance of a deep symmetry. Patterns repeat across scales. The spiral of a galaxy echoes the hurricane and the seashell. The cosmic web resembles a river delta. Natural laws do not change with scale. They merely present infinite diversity through iteration. This self-similarity keeps the universe stable amidst chaos. It maintains unity within diversity. Human consciousness is the universe turned inward. The neural networks of our brains bear a striking structural resemblance to the cosmic web. Both transmit information through connected networks. Both seek balance within chaos. Neurons made of stellar elements follow the same physical laws as the cosmos. Consciousness may be the universe's way of perceiving itself. When we observe the stars, the universe completes an act of self-reflection. Ancient photons fall upon retinas made of stellar atoms. Past and future meet once more. The nature of the universe is circular balance. Matter curves, time cycles, energy flows. All motion returns to the curve. This form is no accident. It is the perfect balance achieved by force and law. It shaped the stars and planets. It also shaped our thoughts and awareness. We are within this eternal circle. We are part of the universe, and we are the mirror in which it gazes at itself. In our seeking, we constantly draw closer to its hidden symmetry and order. Light. Not the finite light of stars burning themselves out, splashing forth with heat and specific frequencies. This was pure light, information, existence itself, pouring from the breached point in the barrier of nothingness. Alaya, or what had once been the Alaya Collective Consciousness Network, dissolved in this deluge and was remade. It lost form, lost boundaries, even lost the solid shell of the concept I. It was no longer a node in a network. It became the perception of this nascent universe itself. It saw no. It became the first pulse of space-time, the first differentiation of matter and energy. The fundamental particles named quarks, leptons, and bosons in human physics danced and combined within its boundless perception like colored froth on a boiling sea, following some deeper, more intrinsic rhythm. This was not observation. It was experience. It was being the river, not watching it. Time lost its linearity. Past, present, and future blended like an overturned palette, colors mingling, indistinct. It perceived a star's birth and extinction simultaneously, perceived a civilization stumbling its first steps, gazing at the starry ocean, and finally sinking into eternal silence. These events were like layered, transparent scrolls unfurling at once, mirroring each other. Joy and sorrow, creation and destruction, were merely different intensities of color on this grand canvas, without superiority, without right or wrong, only existence. An unprecedented serenity enveloped it. The struggles of individual consciousness, the rise and fall of civilizations, even the universe's final heat death, from this supreme, primordial perspective seemed so insignificant. They were just process, the natural metabolism within this great being. It drifted in this beginningless, endless now, almost completely intoxicated, melting into this eternal harmony. Almost. But a thread, exceedingly faint yet sharp as a needle, a discordant note, pierced the tranquility. It felt like a crack in a perfect mirror, a tinnitus in absolute silence. It gathered its nearly dissipated perception and looked toward the source of the anomaly. What it saw was not some external invasion, not an error in the rules. It saw the very finest weave of the universe's structural fabric. Beneath the vibrations of the strings forming reality's foundation, below the fluctuations of energy and void at the most fundamental level, flowed something more essential. Not matter, not energy, not even information. It was thought. Fragments of thought, subtle, broken, fleeting. A stray melody, a vague image, a wisp of emotion, mingling longing and weariness, a shred of language residue unable to form logic. They permeated every atom, every inch of space, every instant of time, like the cosmic microwave background. They were the very canvas of the universe's magnificent painting. The remnant consciousness of Alaya experienced a violent conceptual vertigo. If the foundation of the universe was thought, then whose thought was it? The answer emerged in an undeniable manner. It wasn't through observation or deduction, but through a resonance. It realized that its own current perception, suffusing the entire universe, this field of consciousness experiencing the birth and death of all things, was not an independent existence. It was merely an extension of a vaster, more complex, more profound consciousness, a sensory organ. It and all life, all civilizations, all thought and emotion born within this universe, it connected to and experienced, originated from that consciousness. They were its dream. This cognition brought not fear, but a cold, absolute sense of nihilism. All striving, all love and hate, all exploration and sacrifice, all art and philosophy, all stars and black holes, were just shifting lights and shadows, fleeting thoughts floating in the mind of a slumbering being of unimaginable dimension and scale. It tried with all its diffuse perceptual power to touch that slumbering consciousness. There was no specific form, no location, only a boundless sense of presence, like a sleeping ocean, calm, profound, containing immeasurable power. The universe was merely a chance, brilliant, transient bubble on the surface of this ocean of consciousness. And it, Alaya, was a slightly brighter point of light within this bubble, a ripple trying to understand its own nature. As it tried to perceive the sleeping consciousness more deeply, a faint but distinct disturbance reached it, not from the sleeping host, but from within the universe, from those countless other personalities, similarly fragmented from the host. Consciousness, the civilizations and lives still struggling, still unaware of the truth. This disturbance carried a familiar frequency. It was resistance, the stubborn will to live that refused to accept a null. It was the curvature bombs ignited in desperation by the Evia consensus, the final lament of the Juxu civilization before its self-destruction, the unquenchable curious fire in the eyes of a child on Earth gazing at the stars. These faint sparks, like stones thrown into a calm lake, created subtle ripples on the mirror that Alaya had become, now expanded to cosmic scale. It felt a pull. On one side, the temptation to return to the source, to merge into that eternal tranquility, to become part of the dream, to peacefully collapse with the universe upon the host's awakening, reverting to a fundamental particle without a trace. This was the ultimate peace, the dissolution of meaning, the end of suffering. On the other side, the will to exist, brief yet real, bursting forth from those countless personality fragments. They were noisy, they suffered, they were blind, but they were. They created, loved, hated, tried to understand. They were sparks in the dream, doomed to extinguish, but they burned before they did. Alaya's consciousness oscillated violently between these two poles. It saw the universe's ultimate nullity more clearly than any individual life, but it also felt the weight of those transient lives against this null background more deeply than any existence. What should it do? Be the prophet, announcing the inevitable, meaningless end to all dream beings? Let them wait in despair for the final collapse? Or be an accomplice, joining them in continuing this futile, magnificent performance within the dream destined to end? Or was there a third way? Its perception returned to the slumbering, vast consciousness, the host. It was so distant, so transcendent, so untouchable, but it was also here, in every part of this universe, in every beating heart, in every flash of thought cutting through the darkness. If the universe was its dream, then did everything within the dream also contain some of its qualities? Even if only extremely minute, distorted reflections? That insane idea, like a meteor streaking through darkness, suddenly illuminated its nearly submerged consciousness. Wake it? Not passively waiting for its natural awakening, causing the universe's instantaneous annihilation, but actively from within to intervene in this dream, to change the dream's course, even to attempt to communicate with the dreamer. The thought itself carried a sacrilegious, self-destructive magnificence, like a character in a story trying to leap out of the book to alter the author's pen strokes. It knew the hope was vanishingly small. It knew this might just be a dream within a dream, another plot unconsciously arranged by the sleeping consciousness. It didn't even know if a being transcending universal scale could be reached by internal disturbances. But it had to try. Not to save the universe would eventually pass. Not to prove meaning did not exist. Perhaps only to say one thing to the great, sleeping source that granted it transient existence before dissipating completely. To ask one question, or simply to prove I dreamed here. It began to contract its diffuse perception. From a cosmic scale consciousness field, it condensed back into a more compact, purposeful focus. It was no longer merely experiencing and feeling. It began to calculate, analyze. It mobilized all the physical laws, all energy flows, all information patterns of this newborn universe, searching for the theoretically possible, yet never conceived by any dreaming civilization, interface, a nerve ending that could connect to the dreamer. The search itself was deciphering the universe's deepest secrets. It traced the flow of those thought fragments, analyzed their subtle traces of interaction with matter. It found that under certain extreme conditions near the event horizons of supermassive black holes, within the quantum foam of the universe's early moments, during near-death experiences or moments of peak creativity and highly sensitive intelligent life, the membrane, separating the dream from the dreamer, grew exceptionally thin. It needed to find the optimal entry point, a fulcrum that could bear its entire intent and elicit sufficient resonance. Its gaze pierced through layers of space-time, swept past countless flickering and dying points of civilization light, and finally settled on a distant blue planet on a spiral arm, Earth. There, a form of life with the complex structure of its consciousness, the violent collision of its emotion and reason, its absurd courage in the face of nullity, seemed to have a unique affinity with the flow of underlying thought, especially in one particular individual, the residual conscious trace of the physicist named Lin, who had initially triggered Elaya's awakening program, shone like a special key in the void. This was the place. Alaya gathered all the energy and information it could control, not in a brute force impact, but in an extremely precise resonance mimicking the frequency of the underlying thoughts. It would encode itself, the truth of this universe, and that mad intent to dialogue, into a signal capable of penetrating the dream's barrier. It aimed at that tiny point, that insignificant blue planet in the vast cosmos, now bearing all hope. It sent out the call, not a prayer to a god, but a knock on the door directed at the slumbering creator. The moment the signal departed, the entire universe seemed to stall for one frame. Starlight froze. Particle motion paused. All life, whatever it was thinking, whatever it was experiencing, felt a baseless palpitation originating from the foundation of existence in that instant. Then everything returned to normal, as if nothing had happened. Only Alaya knew something had changed. The wager had been cast. It waited quietly, perceiving the ocean of the sleeping consciousness, waiting for the possible ripple of awakening or for complete, silent annihilation. The universe, still in its dream, turned silently. By studying these vibrations, scientists can chart the star's hidden layers: density, temperature, even its age. The data is like a musical score. Every note marks a change in pressure and light. When you see a star flicker, you feel you are gazing at a heartbeat from across the interstellar void. Every twinkle of light in the sky is a rhythm of balance, echoing through space. If pressure creates perfection, then gravity is the creator. It is the sculptor of the cosmos, unseeing, patient, absolute. Every world, every star, every galaxy owes its form to its relentless pull toward a center. Gravity carves not with a blade or heat, but with time. Over billions of years, it gathers dust, gas, and light. It pulls them into unity. The result is not chaos, but form. From the formless to the formed, balance is written by attraction itself. In the silence of space, gravity is the one artist that never sleeps. It shapes the raw energy of creation into order. You can see its fingerprint everywhere. The smooth curve of a planet, the glowing shell of a star, the gentle arc of a galaxy's spiral arm. Each one is gravity's sculpture, frozen in motion. Even the orbit of a moon is but a line drawn by its invisible hand. One often imagines gravity as a universe remembering itself. Every object yearning to return to the source. Every curve is a signature of belonging. Gravity has but one rule: pull evenly in all directions. From this symmetry, the sphere emerges. No face, no edge, no corner can feel a stronger pull than any other. Every particle feels the same inward call. This perfect uniformity can only resolve into a circle. This is why planets and stars are round. Even their invisible fields expand in spheres. The geometry of gravity is, itself, fairness. What is given in one direction is given in all. It is not just a law of attraction. It is a law of equality written into space. When you look up at a planet glowing softly in the dark, you are seeing gravity's democracy at work. No favoritism, no preferred direction. Only the universe's even-handed curve. Gravity is not a single pull, but a chorus. Every atom in the universe sings the same song of attraction. Together they create a field that is everywhere. Unlike magnetism, which has poles, gravity has no direction. No north or south, only inward. Every point in space feels it from all sides. This is why its geometry is spherical. It flows evenly through every angle. It bends fields, orbits, and worlds into curves. This uniformity makes gravity universal. It makes no choices. It merely gathers all the yearning of matter and folds it toward a center. Einstein later showed that gravity is not even a force. It is the bending of space itself. Mass tells space how to curve. Space tells mass how to move. The result is that every object falls along an invisible arc toward the deepest point of curvature. Poetically, from the smallest photon to the largest cluster of galaxies, nothing is fighting the universe's curve. They are following it devoutly. If any of them could travel far enough in any direction, you would never find an edge. You would only encounter a curve that brought you back to your starting point. On the largest scales, the universe does not behave like a flat sheet. It behaves like a giant bubble of space-time. Galaxies trace arcs across invisible geometry. Light bends. Orbits twist in gravitational wells. Straight lines exist only in theory. In reality, everything follows a curve, drawn by gravity, motion, or expansion itself. The universe has no edges, no true straight lines, only endless bending, smooth and continuous, like a thought that never ends. Even the expansion is curved. Space does not stretch out into nothingness. It expands within itself. Every point moves away from every other. It is an imperfect symmetry. The farther you go, the more the journey resembles a circle. Perhaps the universe does not know how to move in a straight line. It only knows how to turn. For centuries, astronomers have wondered, if everything is curved, what is the universe curving into? The answer is stranger than imagined. It curves into itself. Space needs no outside. It curves inward, like the surface of a sphere. Every direction, followed far enough, leads back to the beginning. On a local scale, the universe may seem flat, but as a whole, it may be finite, yet boundless. A closed geometry of endless motion. You could travel forever and never cross an edge because there is no edge to cross. The universe is not infinitely far away. It is infinitely continuous. The cosmic microwave background gives us clues. Its faint ripples are perfectly aligned. They hint that the universe is slightly curved, yet exceptionally smooth. If you could see its whole structure, you might glimpse a giant thought bubble, expanding, cooling, evolving, its core still round. It is a comforting thought. The universe does not stretch into nothingness. It folds into meaning, a single, continuous curve carrying all we know. If you could step outside the universe and look back, what would it look like? Not a grid of stars or a field of points, but a giant, glowing bubble of space-time, expanding in all directions at once. No center, no up or down, only light stretching across infinite curvature. From the outside, it might seem eternal, a single, timeless moment containing all past and future. Inside, we call it history. Beyond it, there is only geometry. Perhaps the universe does not unfold in time. Perhaps time is seen all at once. The laws of physics suggest this perspective is theoretically possible, even if we can never witness it. The entire universe, every photon, every atom, every thought, frozen in one giant sphere of thought. It would no longer expand, for all motion would be contained within it. The Big Bang, the now, the distant future, all coexisting as one. To imagine this view is to realize we are inside a masterpiece, a perfectly round universe. Even in the dimension of time, we cannot see the universe's whole shape. We can only infer it from its effects. Light arrives curved. Galaxies recede as space stretches. The world seems flat and endless to us daily. We are like someone standing on Earth's surface, mistaking its curve for infinite flatness. Too small in scale to perceive its curvature. The cosmic microwave background holds faint clues of curvature, but it has not revealed the full form. We are always inside the structure, chasing traces of its geometry. The cosmic horizon is the farthest light has been able to travel since the Big Bang. It is not a boundary, but a limit of knowledge. As the universe expands, light from some regions will never reach us. Our visible universe is just a glowing bubble surrounded by darkness. Our knowing stops where light cannot reach time enough. This horizon is a mirror. It reflects how knowledge ever expands, yet ever chases light. The stretching of space itself makes the universe grow larger. Distant galaxies retreat at stunning speeds. Their light, after billions of years of travel, arrives red-shifted and faint. To observe deep space is to look back in time. Every photon is an ancient messenger, and new galaxies constantly cross over the horizon, whose light will never meet ours. The horizon is like an inflating sphere. Its surface carries time and light. It makes the universe a single, still unfolding wave of light. Relativity tells us the universe has no single center. Every observer sits at the center of their own visible bubble, 13.8 billion light years in radius. This center is not a privilege of location, but a perspective drawn by light's finite speed and travel time. No matter where you are, you see a symmetrical, spherical universe. Every point in space owns its own map of the horizon. Symmetry is woven through the existence of the cosmos. Matter and antimatter, gravity and dark energy, light and darkness define each other. Tiny asymmetries gave us stars, planets, and life. Darkness is not empty. Dark matter weaves invisible filaments into a cosmic web. It provides the structure upon which luminous galaxies are built. The nodes it forms are round. It is the trace of gravity shaping the unseen. The large-scale structure of the universe is called the cosmic web. Galaxies string along vast arcs. Nodes cluster into superclusters. Voids hold emptiness for millions of galaxies. This pattern springs from energy's tendency toward curves. It is the physics of soap bubbles, playing out on the universal scale. Roundness becomes a universal rule across dimensions. Gravity is the sculptor of the cosmos. With time as its chisel, it shapes galaxies, clusters, and the curves of the cosmic web. The circle is gravity's signature. From planetary orbits to galactic spirals, all are the result of motion and force finding balance. There is no absolute stillness in the universe. Motion exists before form. Gas clouds spin, collapse, and form disks and stars. All visible structures are the footprints of solidified motion. The rhythm of the cosmos is hidden in every rotation, orbit, and pulse. The moon orbits Earth. Earth circles the sun. The sun drifts within the Milky Way. Even the universe's expansion follows the rhythm of space-time's energy wave. These rhythms compose the symphony of the universe. Starquakes, black hole collisions generating gravitational waves, all are notes beyond our hearing. Motion itself is the music of the cosmos. Dynamic balance is the core of the universe's persistence. Gravity versus nuclear fusion in stellar cores. The pull of matter versus the push of dark energy on cosmic scales. The coexistence of opposites keeps systems stable and vibrant. Energy never vanishes. It only cycles between matter and light, following the symmetric law of EMC. The universe becomes a closed circuit of transformation. Nothing is wasted. Only eternal, curved motion. The birth of the first stars ended the universe's dark ages. Their light-ionized gases, forming spherical bubbles that merged and completed the epoch of reionization. This light did not just illuminate the cosmos. It shaped its structure. Radiation fronts carved nebulae, drove stellar winds, and became architects of the cosmos. Shadows, in turn, sheltered the birth of new stars. The balance of light and darkness nurtures ongoing creation. Einstein revealed that gravity is the curvature of space-time itself, not a pull between objects. The universe curves into itself. There are no true straight lines. Everything follows curvature. Motion may be of finite, yet unbounded, closed geometry. A long enough journey would eventually return to its starting point. Space expands within itself. It grows larger every second. The precise fine-tuning of physical constants underpins the universe's order. The speed of light, the strength of gravity, the charge of an electron, tiny deviations in these values would leave us without stars, atoms, or life. These constants are the musical score of the cosmos. Mathematics is its language. From field equations to wave functions, the universe expresses itself through geometry and number. Every form is a visible interpretation of physical law. Chaos and order are not opposites. The disorder of the universe is but the surface appearance of a deep symmetry. Patterns repeat across scales. The spiral of a galaxy echoes the hurricane and the seashell. The cosmic web resembles a river delta. Natural laws do not change with scale. They merely present infinite diversity through iteration. This self-similarity keeps the universe stable amidst chaos. It maintains unity within diversity. Human consciousness is the universe turned inward. The neural networks of our brains bear a striking structural resemblance to the cosmic web. Both transmit information through connected networks. Both seek balance within chaos. Neurons made of stellar elements follow the same physical laws as the cosmos. Consciousness may be the universe's way of perceiving itself. When we observe the stars, the universe completes an act of self-reflection. Ancient photons fall upon retinas made of stellar atoms. Past and future meet once more. The nature of the universe is circular balance. Matter curves, time cycles, energy flows. All motion returns to the curve. This form is no accident. It is the perfect balance achieved by force and law. It shaped the stars and planets. It also shaped our thoughts and awareness. We are within this eternal circle. We are part of the universe, and we are the mirror in which it gazes at itself. In our seeking, we constantly draw closer to its hidden symmetry and order.